morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the land. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah.
You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
You always want what you can't have, and what you have you can. But still, my heart, the moment I laid eyes on it. Well, how do you know how you will feel when everything changes? This fear, where will I go? Know you mean? How will I know? How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? You always want what you can't have, and what you have you can. But still, my heart, the moment I laid eyes on it. Well, how do you know how you will feel when everything changes? This fear, where will I go? Know you mean? How will I How do you know how you will feel when everything changes? There was a time when you had me falling to the ground, like a king without a crown. Whoa, why you make it hard? Don't let me down. You might as well be lost, but I'm found. I'm waiting for your love. You just keep me hanging on, and I deserve to stay, and I'll find my way. Just know you're not alone, 'cause I'm your home. I wanna be bright. Like a firefly, you are glowing at night. So don't make it hard, don't let me go. I wanna hold you tight when you're cold. I'm waiting for your love, you just keep me hanging on. I deserve to stay, and I will find my way. I will find my way.
Welcome back to FRL, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for round 5 of the PureSimGear GT3 Championship. And if you've guessed it already, we're at Laguna Seca this time. And a very narrow track is Laguna Seca, and in the middle of a desert as well. With the track temp currently at 27 degrees Celsius and ambient temp is 20 degrees. Track also optimum, not much cloud cover here either. But let's take a quick look at the standings coming into this round. For the AM class, we have Petrovic still leading the championship on 168 points, but with not the best of finishes in round 5. He finished P9 last round. That would have been at Barcelona. So that puts Draco even closer to Petrovic. He finished P3 last round, so 154 points for Draco and 168 for Petrovic. So very close at the top, 14 points difference. And then Danix in 3rd in the championship, who's finished 2nd for round 4 and 5 now. And he's on 152, so just 2 points behind Draco then in the AM class. But let's switch over to the standings for the Pro. We've still got Nishira leading the championship on 194 points, taking 2nd last time out at Barcelona. And then Alfie Baron in 2nd in the championship, finishing 1st on 144 points. And then in 3rd in the championship, Toth. Zoltan Toth on 141, so just 3 points between 2nd and 3rd in the Pro class as well. So very close then between those two. But let's have a look at this qualifying session then. Currently got Nishira topping this qualifying session on a 122.327, just 900ths quicker than Dipolito in P2. But let's see who's about to come across the start-finish line. We've got the 555 car of Khan, who crosses the line, manages to put in a time there of a 127.602, but it's 5.2 seconds off the provisional pole sitter of Nishira. We've also got the number 305 car that just crossed the line. That would be Williams in the Aston Martin then. It's currently sitting in P21. And we've also got the 984 car of Sebastian across the line, put into P1, there we go. So a new provisional pole sitter, Sebastian on a 122.297, but look who's going faster, Dipolito in the Porsche here, coming through the final corner now. Good exit there from him, and I think this is going to put him onto provisional pole as he crosses the line now. And there we go, 122.005, almost into the 121s. And the Porsche, very good car here at Laguna Seca, and he's running a cyberpunk livery there, I believe. Don't think I've ever seen that before, but it looks absolutely amazing. When he runs wide there, so that's going to be his lap invalid. He's about to come across the start-finish line. We've got the number 305 car. Let's see, that is Terry Williams, who's up on his lap. See where it puts him, 2/10, and he puts him into P22. So good improvement there from Terry Williams. We also have the 510 car of Toth in the BMW M4. I think he might be up for an improvement here as he crossed the line. He did improve, but it wasn't enough to gain a position there, so still P7 for him. And you can see there, that is Dipolito coming back out of the pits to try and improve that lap time. We've got the Honda number 64 here, up for an improvement this lap. He is 3/10 up currently. Let's see if he can keep it together coming through the corkscrew now. And he's now got some traffic in front of him. I don't think they're going to move out of the way because they are also on a hot lap here. And that's really going to hinder the Honda's lap. Yes, it definitely has. Oh, for some reason drives into the wall there, but returns into the pits. And that could have been a good improvement for him. He was 6/10 up, exiting or coming up towards the final corner. And unfortunately lost it all. Sebastian here, not on a valid lap at the moment. Let's see, Zachetti now coming up towards the corkscrew. He's 3/10 up, but 1.5 seconds off the pace at the moment. Not usually where you'd see him. But let's hope he can improve slightly more here in this qualifying session. Just 6 minutes left to go. Not a huge amount of time. And traffic is definitely an issue, but he comes through the final corner 3/10 up. Let's see where this puts him as he crosses the line. Now, there we go, 1.2 seconds off now. Didn't gain any positions though, so still sitting in P10. Ian Thompson crosses the line, puts it to P14, 2.1 seconds off. I think he's going to put it back into the pits then. We've got Godby in the 220 BMW as he crosses the line now, puts it into P12. Good lap there from him, 1.8 seconds off, but still not the highest AM driver. And that would be Sullivan here, who's coming up towards the final corner, but he is on an invalid lap, I believe, so he won't be improving, but sitting 1.2 seconds off. Definitely good pace from Ryan in the 42 McLaren. Back to Dipolito's 2 seconds down on his best lap here, so he won't be up for any improvement, but he's still holding on to pole position. No one's been able to get any closer than Sebastian has. He's sitting in P2 and now entering Sector 2 here, but no improvement as of yet. And oh, big slide there from him. That's going to be an invalid lap. Oh, and he spins the car into the wall, and he's going to have to return that to the pits now. The number 19 car of Nashira, he's 5/10 down, so that's not going to be an improvement for him either. We've got the 220 car rounding off the final corner. That's Godby, who's 8/10 up here. This could put him in a very, very good spot. Top 10 possibly for him. There we go. Puts it into P9. Just 9/10 off. And that puts him up into the fastest AM driver here currently in this qualifying session. And also Nicholas Keel in the 34 Porsche has pipped Ryan Sullivan there to P10. Oh, I say that. And Sullivan puts it up back into P10 then, just a second off. But where is Keel? No, he's down on his time, so it's not going to be an improvement there for him. Now we've got the 737 car of, that would be Keddy, but where is he on my timing sheets? Let's see. There he is. And he puts it into P4. There we go. Keddy puts it into P4. 4.5 tenths of Dupolito. But yet again, no one able to get close enough to that pole time of 1:22 flat, pretty much. And once again, we've got the 220 car of Guardby, but no improvement there from him. Still sits in P10, 9 tenths off of the provisional pole time. Now we've got the 510 car of, who is the 510 car? That would be Toth. Crosses the line, puts it into P5. So we're 4.8 tenths off now. Getting closer, but no one able to break into the 21s yet. Not even Dilapito, but that may be why he's staying out. Wants to try and get into the 21s here and break that 22 mark. And he's just started a new lap as well, so we'll keep an eye on that. But coming down to number 503 car of Sergio Oz in the Aston Martin V8. Here as he comes up towards the line, he is up on his time, crosses it now, and there we go, puts it into P14, so good lap from Sergio Oz. And I think that's his qualifying session done then. I've got the 77 BMW, who is a second up. This could be good for him. Let's see where it will put him. Crosses the line, puts him into P19 there, so top 20 there from the 77 BMW driver. We've also got Dan Bowman in the 85 Audi coming up towards the line. He's not up on his time, so no improvements and no positions gained for him, but he's got one last chance to improve here at Laguna Seca. Looks like the 23 car is coming up towards the final corner. That would be Suresh in the Lexus. But no, he was slightly up on his time, but he's lost it to that final corner then. I know that's not going to be any improvement for him, but currently sitting in P15, very respectable position for the Lexus. Not the best car here at Laguna Seca at all. But let's see, Keddy is up on his time currently. Timer has hit 0, so this will be the last chance for any of the drivers that are yet to cross the finish line. Keddy is up. We've got the number 85 car coming through the final sector now. Let's see if we can catch the 85 car of Dan Bowman, who is 3 tenths down. Can he find it in these final few corners? He has found it in the penultimate corner. Let's see if he can keep it together in this final corner then. Comes through very cleanly. He's kept it. Currently a tenth up. And he crosses the line, and it is enough. There we go. Puts it into P19. Good lap there from Dan Bowman. Keddy's still out on the lap, and he crosses the line. Now, is it enough for P3? No, there we go. So still in P4 there for Keddy. We still got the Honda driver who's about to cross the line. He is up on his time ever so slightly. There we go, crosses the line. And that's P7 for him, but we'll be back shortly for the race, so make sure to stay tuned. Here we go then, back on to the formation lap. Drivers are now side by side coming up towards the penultimate corner here at Laguna Seca. Let's get some predictions in the comments of who you think is going to finish in the top 3 for this race. Will Dippolito be able to hold on here to P1, or will he get jumped on the start by Nishira in the number 19 Bentley here? Both the Bentley and the Porsche are very good cars at Laguna Seca, but we shall see. Drivers getting ready for the race start here. 45 minutes at Laguna Seca. You can see the next white line there. They cross it, and we are green, green, green. Looks like the Porsche has got a great start on the inside, and Sebastian also taking the inside as well on the Nishira. Nishira is going to have to hold the outside coming down to turn 1. Sebastian very late on the brakes. Oh, there's been contact. Oh, big accident there between Nishira, Sebastian, and a few other cars off in the background. I think there's Duchetti making some contact with another driver. And oh, that's Sebastian around once again, making some more contact. And that's really unfortunate. But with Laguna Seca being such a narrow track, start's definitely not easy. But that's let. Oh, Keddy's gone deep. What's happened to him? He's had to return to the pits there for some reason. Obviously not happy with something about the car. But this has really given Dippolito a huge advantage off the start of the race. Didn't get into any trouble. Now he's got a very comfortable lead to P2, who is Toth now, started in P3, and just due to the drama on lap 1, he's gained up a number of positions here. And oh, we've had a race restart there, so I believe red flagged. So we'll be back shortly once again. we go. Then once again, after the race was red flagged, you've got the drivers lining up side by side, getting ready for the race start. Let's hope we can have a better start this time around. But here we go, coming through the final corner now. You see all the cars in the background, all in good formation, leaving enough space to each other in front. Let's see if Dippolito can get a good start this time around. There we go, we are green. Looks like Bashira with a slightly better start this time around. No, it's the same actually. And Sebastian's going to follow him right through, and Bashira's going to have to hold on to the outside once again. And there we go, much cleaner start this time. And Dippolito's not going to have an easier of a job as he did before the restart here. Nicholas Kill. Oh, there's a car in the background there. I think that's a Shetty. Some more contact, some more chaos here. That's a car rejoining the Aston Martin with a bit of contact there. And really unfortunate. Once again, I think Sergio Oz may have got caught up in that. No, Kudasov has been caught up in that incident, but he's got the car going once again. So back to the race lead. Dippolito has still got Sebastian Leinmuller very close behind him, coming down into the corkscrew now. The Porsche very, very quick here at Laguna Seca. You can see how much speed it carries through these corners compared to the BMW of Sebastian. It just looks so much more agile and nimble than a lot of these other cars, but it lacks the straight line speed. And with not many straights here, the Porsche will thrive. Coming down into turn 1. Sebastian not close enough to make a move. Just going to have to settle here for P2, but much later in the brakes. And missing the second apex slightly there. But let's look further down the field. And we've got a few battles going on. I think that was Sullivan that went wide, and Attila down the inside, coming down into turn 1. And oh, there's a BMW off. That is Vinning with some severe damage now on the front of that BMW. And unfortunately caught the outside curb. But he's going to have to wait for all these cars to go past now. But he's going to lose a number of positions here. Derek running on with some damage actually. But he's not got anyone to worry about really. Petrovic's, I'm not sure if he's got any damage on that Mercedes of his. I think I might have seen some slight splitter damage. Yeah, there is a bit, but not as much as we saw Derek have just up in front. So I think Petrovic's may be able to close in the gap here. Coming down towards corkscrew, and will Derek have to pit for damage? We shall see, but back to the race lead. Dippolito's opened up even bigger gap to Sebastian there, 1.1 seconds to the BMW driver in P2. Oh, I think this might be an easy race for him. Unless, of course, there are any major catastrophes for him during this race. But he definitely has the pace to pull away from the rest of the field here. Oh, and I believe that's another restart then. Here we go then, third time lucky here, let's hope, for the race here at Laguna Seca. And once again, just to remind you, Dipolito and Nishira on the front row here, with Sebastian Leimüller and Toth on the second. Let's see if you can have a cleaner start this time, coming down into turn 1 and 2. And we are green now, green lights are shown there on the start. Dipolito with a good start. Nishira once again not able to get the run that Sebastian has, coming down into turn 1. And there we go, Nishira under a lot of pressure from I believe that's Toth and Keddy behind him, very close behind him. It looks to be a much cleaner start this time, I believe. Dipolito already opening up his gap to Sebastian in P2. Nishira though has got a number of cars behind him, but I'm sure they're not going to be able to get that get past that mighty Bentley here, one of the biggest and heaviest cars in the GT3 category. But here we go then, currently watching Toth, who's sitting in P4 at the moment, right behind Nishira, but he didn't get the exit he wanted to there out of the final corner, and Keddy is right up behind him, so he needs to be careful now coming down into turn 1. Actually, I don't think he will, because Keddy's a bit too far back to go for a move there. There we go, and I think that's Nicholas Keel taking the fastest lap so far, but doesn't really mean anything since that was the first lap then. And looking further down, looks like Ryan O'Sullivan has opened up a slight gap to Attila behind, but there's another battle going on between Sergio Oz and oh, there's a 4-car battle here. Sergio Oz, Suresh Gardby and Ian Thompson all battling it out for I believe what would be P11, but we saw there in the background, I think that was Suresh going wide, and he's lost a position there. Just a couple of positions, and he's had to cut the corkscrew, and he needs to be careful with rejoining. No, he's lost the car there, and then he's going to pick up some damage as a result. Just slightly outbraked himself there, I think, into the corkscrew, and unfortunately has picked up some damage. Kun, who's currently running in P18, has got Derek very close behind him. Kun gaining 5 positions off the start, started in P23, but Derek's made a mistake out of the final corner. That's not going to help his run coming down into turn 1. Let's go back to the race leader, Dipolito, who's once again extended his gap to Leimüller behind him. Both these drivers pretty much running alone at the moment. Nishira is a bit too far back at the moment for them to worry about, but Nishira has got Toth and Keddy very close behind him. Now we're coming up towards the corkscrew. Through the final corner now, and Shira still holding on very well. We'll go on the rear view wing cam here from the Shira. Coming down into turn 1, and Toth still not able to get close enough. I think he's lost a bit of time there. Taking a different line, he's gone very aggressive and deep into the corner. compared to Nashira. But he's Toth is having to defend from Keddy behind him. I think Keddy may just be sitting there patiently. Doesn't really want to battle with Toth too much, because then there were lose time to Nashira up ahead, who are currently on board with. You can see in the background there, and that's Tadema and the 64 Honda also catching up to this battle just up ahead. There we go, Nashira using a lot of the inside curb. And Toth behind, not using as much, but he's using a lot more of the runoff here, and he got very close on the braking through the final corner. That's compromised his run once again, coming down into turn 1. And here we go, Nashira still holds on. Toth and Keddy very close still, and there we go in the background. Tadema has got the 64 Honda very, very close behind him. The Honda, I'm not sure if he's going to go for a move here. Laguna is very difficult to go for a move, and I say that, the Mercedes a bit sideways on the exit, and he's actually lost the position to the Honda, so Tadema down into P7 then. He's picked up a bit more of the sand. Once again, another wiggle from the number 16 Mercedes. He needs to be very careful here in the early stages of this race. Doesn't really want to pick up any damage, but yeah, the Mercedes, not the most stable car at Laguna. You can set it up to be, but you're going to lose some front end on the car if you do so. And now this has put Chris Vinning very close behind Tadema now, coming up towards the final corner. Tadema needs to be extremely careful, because any more mistakes like that, he's going to lose a number of positions. You can see in the background as well, Sullivan catching up to these two ahead. You can hear the tyres really trying to work hard here, but with the track temp at 27 degrees, I'm not going to be liking it, especially those rear tyres in the Mercedes. Tadema slightly going defensive, but pulls it back over to the racing line. And oh, he's made him another mistake there. Has he kept on to the position he has? And that's Vinning having to avoid him. He's gone wide. Sullivan's going to have a look up the inside on Vinning. And let's hope they can keep it clean through here. Oh no, that's Vinning wide. And Sullivan continues his race and up into P8. But unfortunate for Vinning, that puts Keel up into P9 actually, sorry. Vinning's going to have another look down the inside. No, the Porsche of Keel has held on to P9 here. And this has brought Attila into the mix. Oh, that's a Sullivan round. What's happened to him? I think he may have picked up the outside curb, coming through that right-hander, but he's got it going once again. I don't think he's picked up any damage, which is good. Good for him, but he has lost a number of positions. He's down into P13. But let's go back to the race leader. Dipolito has currently got the fastest lap of 122.032, very close to his quali time. And he's built up a 3-second gap to Sebastian behind. He's falling back. And you can see Nashira, who's now had clean air, has slightly been able to close the gap, but they do have a back marker separating them. Not sure who that back marker is. Let's go down to this battle. Kun still holding on to P17. Derek with a good looking car then. Doesn't seem to be any damage this time on his car. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Currently watching Ian Thompson, who's gone slightly wide there. No, he's kept it within the track limits. And he's got Suresh and Vinning not too far up ahead. Let's see what he can do here. Too far back, coming into turn 1. Vinning also, these three drivers are a bit more separated out than I thought. But I think Vinning may have made another mistake. Sullivan, after his spin, lost the position to Vinning. And Sullivan's back up into P12 now. And Vinning's made a mistake there. Has he been able to keep the car? Almost, yes he has. There we go, almost lost it. But he's kept the car under control. And there we go. Continues on. That's not going to help his tyres at all here. He seems to have not the most stable setup here at Laguna Seca. And it hasn't been playing in his favour at all. It looks like what's happened to Oz? Oh, Sergio Oz has had a huge mistake there coming to the corkscrew. I think he may have just outbraked himself as we saw him into the wall. He's picked up some damage. He's dropped all the way down into P16 now, so losing 6 positions there just by one mistake. And it was a very costly mistake. But could we see him diving to the pits? No, it's not enough damage for him to do so. So he continues out. There we go, we've got a few drivers into the pits already. Terry Williams are just into the pits now. Simon Van has already served his mandatory stops, the first driver to do so. Here we go, got a 3-car battle now for P17. Kun has got Derek and Kudasov very close behind. Oh, Derek really clattering the sausage curb on the inside there, but he's managed to keep the car together, but that's allowed Kudasov to get the run. And he's going to have the inside Kudasov later on the brakes. And there we go, he's got the move done. So good job by Kudasov, just capitalising there on Derek's mistake. And he's up into P18 now. This has allowed the Kun to slightly open up his gap to Kudasov and Derek behind, but I think it's going to be short-lived now coming down towards the corkscrew. You can see how much later on the brakes Kudasov was. Let's go on board the Audi of Kudasov here. Seemed like a much better exit from Kudasov. He's going to have the slipstream coming down to turn 1. Look at the closing speed. The McLaren may be running some high wing here, but Kudasov's going to have the inside. Can't hold it around the outside. He's gone very deep, picking up a bit of the marbles there, I think. And has he kept it on track? Yes, he has, just about. And he hasn't lost the position to Derek, but he's lost it to Kudasov. So Artem Kudasov now up into P17. So good job there from him. But back to this battle for P4. The Shear is slightly up ahead now. I think he's actually lost some time to these three behind him. He must have made a mistake somewhere, because Keddy, Toth and Mate in the 64 Honda have all closed the gap to him. 1.3 seconds now to Nishira. And it was about three odd seconds the last time we checked. So the Shearer's definitely made a mistake. But Laguna, with it being so narrows, and with all these sausage curbs on this track, it's so easy to just have a lapse in concentration and make a slight error, which will cost you a lot of time here. On the brakes, you can really hear the traction control from Keddy kicking in there. But these three haven't really been making any moves on each other. And oh, that's a mistake from Toth through the final corner, but the Honda can't actually see it there. Now you can just about see it pulling out, having a look on the outside. Has he got the run? Is he going to try the outside? No. Toth much later on the brakes, but has he gone a bit too deep? No, he's kept it there in P3. Oh, Keddy kicking up some sand there on the exit, but he doesn't really have to worry at the moment. Oh, I may have spoken too soon there. No, he's kept it under control. Let's hope he can do so for the rest of this race. Just 29 minutes left to go. You can see there Toth almost running slightly wide. But, oh, he has run wide this time around. Has that allowed the Honda up the inside? Very, very close. I think it has. And that's contact between the two. Bit of a late move there from the Honda, but there was enough room down the inside. Flash of lights there from Toth, not happy with that move. And flashing the lights once again. He's going to pick up some damage, but so will the Honda. So it didn't really come off well for the both of them. Now let's look further down the grid here. Any other battles going on? Not a huge amount. Obviously the pit stop phases do separate some of the drivers here, but Dipolito in the race lead. What's the gap now? It's about 5.5, I think it was. Oh, 6 seconds to Sebastian in P2. But these two have both extended the gap to the Shearer. He's possibly going to have to defend from Keddy in a few laps because he's been lapping slower this time around. He is 5/10 slower than the last lap to Keddy. So the Shearer doing a 1:23.08 and Keddy doing a 1:23.5. So doesn't seem to have the pace like he did in the at the start in the first few opening laps, but that could be due to his tyres here. Now it'll be interesting to see when he makes a stop, because he knows Keddy and Mate in the 64 Honda are catching up every single lap, every single corner here. You can see there Toth, after the incident with the Honda, he's dropped off slightly, but he's still there or thereabouts. I'm still in the battle pretty much. They can't rule him out here. But neither of these drivers are able to get close enough to each other into the braking zones to go for a move. I think it may come down to the pit stops here, whether they'll go for the undercut or stay out longer and wait for Nishira to pit. Could see some varying strategies here. We've got another battle here for P7. It looks like Godby has caught up to the back of Keel. The BMW very, very late on the brakes there. Much later than the Porsche of Nicholas Keel. Both these drivers are in the same class. Both AM drivers, so they are battling pretty much for points. Looks like the BMW's got the better run coming down into corkscrew much later in the brakes. I'm not sure if he's gained any time there. But let's see, let's go on board here with D220 BMW. Oh, he's gone slightly wide. As soon as we go on board with someone, they always seem to make a mistake. But that's just the commentator's curse. Really using the inside sausage curve there. The BMW can do that. But I don't think it's helped this run coming down into turn 1. You can see he's lost a substantial amount of time to Porsche up ahead. And a lot of these drivers have been taking turn 1 quite differently. There is a vast majority of lines you can take through there. And it doesn't seem that doesn't seem like one is quicker than the other, to be honest. Nishira and Keddy are very close. We've actually got, that would be Sebastian into the pits, and he's exited in P11. There we go, you can see him there through the pit exit. Very tricky pit exit here at Laguna Seca. So easy to just pick some of the sand up and run wide and slow down your exit. And as we saw, it looks like Sebastian had a bit of a moment coming out of the pits. I'm not sure if that's cost him any time, but he definitely had a comfortable lead to Nishira and P2. He's now going to have to do some defending from Keddy. And if I were Keddy, I would go for the undercut here, because getting the move done on track here at Laguna Seca against the Bentley isn't the easiest of jobs. And you see there he's making mistakes. Keddy runs slightly wide. Onto the brakes now. Going to go back up the hill here. That's given some breathing room to Nishira, but I don't think it's enough for him. Nishira using a lot more of the exit curve, but it's at a much greater risk. Coming down to the corkscrew. Let's go on board with Keddy. Let's hope he doesn't go into the pits now, as soon as we've got on board with him. Now he stays out on track, so he wants to get this move done. He's possibly thinking that he doesn't really want to exit out in traffic. Haven't really had to deal with any traffic at the moment.
We are at the halfway mark, still a long way to go.
There we go, halfway into the race now. Should potentially see some more drivers pitting, and that's Nishira very loose on the exit, but he's held the car together. Coming into the corkscrew, still not close enough to make a move. Here, Keddy's short shifting there, just to stop the back end from stepping out. But there we go, Nishira into the bits, and Keddy follows him through. Very difficult pit entry there. But you can see how many drivers are in the pits now. That's the race leader, Dippolito, Nishira, Keddy and Toff, all into the pits, the top 4. All deciding to pit at the same time. But now let's go to the battles on track here. Looks like the Mercedes of Petrovic has got mate very close behind him, both in a different class. And both on different strategies and all. That's the Mercedes Petrovic's lunching out the way there. But I think that was better off for Petrovic. Didn't really want to be holding up a driver that's on a different strategy, because he's got Derek very, very close behind him now. And both Derek and Petrovic haven't served the mandatory pit stop yet. Derek loses some time here to Petrovic. Petrovic with a different line there through this left-hander coming up towards the hill. Seems to go for a much later apex, but not really using any of the curves to Petrovic. Currently running in P8 and Derek in P9. But you've got Nicholas Keogh and O'Sullivan still up in P1 and P2, yet to serve the mandatory pit stop. Oh, Petrovic's made a mistake there coming through the corkscrew. Look how close Derek is, and he's made another mistake. He's gone slightly wide. Could this be Derek's opportunity? No, he's followed him off track slightly there. And there we go, Petrovic into the pits. Derek staying out on track, and he's gone deep into the final corner. But that's Toth coming through then. Down to this battle. Oh, very, very close on the brakes is Thompson. But he's got David up ahead in the number 800 McLaren. You have to be careful as well, because that's not anyone they're battling with behind them. That would be a driver, either a back marker or someone who's on a different strategy. I think that is Nicholas Keogh into the pits. Yes, it is. Will Sullivan follow him in? Nope, he's staying out on track. You can see him there in the background. But we're currently watching Thompson, who's lost a bit of time to David up ahead. But we'll keep an eye on this battle. Let's look further down. Looks like Sergio Oz and Attila are extremely close. Attila right on the back of him, glued to the rear bump. I think Oz may have to go defensive coming to turn 1. No, sticks onto the racing line. But Attila much later on the brakes, and he's still able to maintain that gap to Oz. Oh no, once again the Bentley seems to be struggling out of that corner. We saw the Shearer with the slight wiggle as well through there. But well held from both of those drivers. Just on the rear viewing cam here from Oz, you can see just about how close Attila is, but that's Oz making a mistake, and Attila's gonna have the inside, I think. Yes, he will. Oz has left him the room, but Attila picking up a bit of the sandal contact once again, and Attila, I think he's gonna let Oz keep that position. Yes, he does. Very good sportsmanship there from Attila. You don't usually see that that going on in racing across the world, really, even in real life motorsports. But good to see Attila returning that position back. But Oz making a slight mistake there through the final corner. This is going to be interesting though, because they have Dipolito now coming up towards the back of them, so he's going to have to get past this traffic. But Oz and Attila are currently in a battle, so this could mix things up. And there we go, that's Attila down the inside of Oz, and Oz leaves him the room, so Attila up into P15. Then let's go back to the battle. Gee, let's stay on with these two for now, because Dipolito has to come through. This may mix things up. Look how close Oz is coming down towards corkscrew. Don't think Oz has... he may have repaired his damage in the pits, but he's picked up some more with that slight incident coming through the corkscrew last lap. There we go, Oz letting the race leader through. And as a result, he's lost some time to Attila up ahead. But Attila may have to do the same thing here. You can see how late on the brakes was Oz through the final corner, almost tagging the back of Dippolito there. And it looks like Attila hasn't moved out the way yet. There we go, now he does, and that's going to allow Oz to catch up to the back of him once again. Not as close as I expected. There we go. It's much closer now. But back to the battle for P3 then. Looks like Mate has jumped Keddy in the pits. So the Honda driver up into P3. And Keddy, with possibly not the best pit stop, is down a position now into P4. And Mashira, losing the most positions out of these two, is in P5. So the Honda driver possibly taking advantage of Keddy and the Shira battling early on. And he's now jumped them both in the pits. But look at the gap that Dippolito has pulled. 8.5 second gap to Sebastian in P2. And we've got another battle going on. Nicholas Kiel and Chris Finning very, very close. Both drivers in different classes, but I'm sure Kiel will want to hold on to this position here in P7. But Vinning not able to get the move done yet. It's a bit far back at the moment. And Kiel will still hold on, but back to this battle. The Honda picking up some sand there. Some sand or gravel. I assume it would be sand. But Keddy not able to get close enough as well. So gap still stays the same. Well, it's actually increased to a second now. And with 12 minutes left to go, Keddy's possibly thinking that P3 may have to settle for P4 here. But traffic could be a game changer here. We'll have to wait and see. Let's not put anything in place at the moment, because anything can happen in racing, sorry. And Keddy, I think, has gained a slight advantage from the Ferrari, from these two having to lap the Ferrari there. And yet the gap has come down to 8 tenths. Back to this battle. Looks like Vinning has made it up into P7, so he's got the move done on Kiel. Kiel has got, I think that's Godby, yes it is, Godby very close behind him. This is the battle for the lead of the AM class, but Godby very late on the brakes there coming to turn 1. That's not going to help his exit at all. Runs slightly wide. That's where you can see two cars very close in the background. That would be a Sullivan. And, I'm not sure who that is actually. I think it may be someone else who's on a different strategy to him. On a different lap. Yes, it is. It's Derek, who's down in P19 currently. that's Petrovic's there moving out of the way of the Honda 64. Also letting Keddy past as well. Great job there by Petrovic. He's currently running in P16. This could take a hit in his championship, but we shall see. Not sure if his rival is competing today. I don't think he is. So he may actually be extending his championship lead then. Let's go trackside then. Kudasov seems to be very close to Petrovic's down in P16 and 17. Yes, he is. He's going to have a look coming up towards the corkscrew. Petrovic's left in the room, but Kudasov backing out of that one sensibly. Knows there would have been contact if he went for that. Now coming up towards the final corner, Petrovic's still hanging on here, but I think it's just a matter of time before Kudasov comes through. And you can see there in the background, that is Nishira already flashing his lights. Blue flags are being waved already for these two up ahead. Nishira doesn't really want to lose any time to these two up front, because if you can see, Vinning in the background is, oh not Vinning, sorry, Toth in the background. It's just 2 seconds behind Nishira. I think it might be slightly less now with this traffic up ahead. Yes, it is 1.6 seconds now. He's really gaining some time on the sheer up ahead, but these two are going to have to find the right opportunity to let the lead cars through. They are battling and don't want to lose any positions by doing so. And oh, Kudasov very sideways there on the exit of the corner. And I think he's going to have to let Nishira past here, coming up towards the corkscrew. And no, he doesn't. Blue flag still being waved. And once again, that's Kudasov very sideways there, coming through the corkscrew. I think the best place for him would be to let Nishira past on the start-finish straight. Nishira there having a look up the inside into the final corner. Just tries to get past Kudasov here, but Kudasov really doesn't want to lose any time to Petrovic's up ahead. But Nishira likewise doesn't want to lose time to Toth behind him. There we go, Kudasov now backing off. And he's going to have to give way to Toth behind him as well. And oh, there's been contact there. But there we go. Kudasov letting Toth through. I don't think Toth has really gained as much as he'd like to. But actually the gap is down to a second. Yeah, now Nishira's got Petrovic's up ahead of him. So Toth is catching up once again. You can see there Petrovic's moving over very nicely to let Nishira through. But I think Toth is going to struggle very late on the brakes with Petrovic's letting him through, but he's going to lose the position there to Kudasov. Kudasov just following Toth through, and Petrovic's has lost the position to Kudasov then. So very well thought from Kudasov, and wasn't really the best place for Petrovic's to give up the position, but good sportsmanship from him. Doesn't really want to hinder the lead car's race. So let's go back to this battle. Looks like Keddy has actually got past, so Keddy's up into P3 and the Honda down to P4. Didn't catch that on stream, but could that have been the traffic that has played in his favour? They seem to have some clean air at the moment. And I think Keddy now is just going to slightly pull away from the Honda behind. Lap times were quite different. The Honda's made a mistake then. So on the last lap is when Keddy got past. Honda did a 126.9 and Keddy with a 123 6. So definitely a mistake there from the Honda. And Keddy constantly putting the pressure on mate here, so it definitely paid off. Keddy's just going to be focusing on the road ahead of him now. Doesn't really need to look behind him. Thompson has got Suresh very close behind him. Now Ian is going to have to do some defending here. In the final few laps of the race, Lexus with the straight line speed advantage, but it's not the best car here at Laguna Seca. In terms of BOP and even handling, it's such a big heavy car. And it's not great on its tyres either. I'm sure it's struggling here, but Thompson still not able to pull away. He's going to want to hold on to this position with just a few laps left to go. And with Suresh braking slightly late into the final corner, he's lost some time coming down in towards turn 1. But we'll keep an eye on this. Let's go back to this battle for P3. Looks like Keddy hasn't really been able to pull away. The Honda 64 is now right up to the back of him once again. But if Keddy can just place his car exactly where it needs to be, I don't think that Honda's going to get past, with Laguna Seca being such a narrow circuit. It's quite easy to just park the car on the apex and defend for as many laps as possible. The only risk is making a mistake, as we see Keddy do just there, runs slightly wide. And then now encountering some traffic, so this could mix up some things. This could make things interesting. Let's see, now the BMW, there we go, moving over. It's good to see there. Looks like Terry Williams has retired the car. And down to this battle as well. Toth is on the back of the Shira, so the Shira hasn't been able to extend the gap. And after the interesting tussle with the back markers, they both got through. But this has allowed Toth to really close right into the back of the Shira as they cross the line. Now let's see what their lap times are. So the last lap, Toth was 2/10 quicker. So he's definitely got the pace advantage here. And 2/10 might not seem like a lot, but every lap, if he can do that every lap, he's definitely in a good position to go for a move. With just 1 minute 40 left, time is running out. And where is the race leader? Dippolito. So he's coming up towards the final, well, the penultimate corner here, and then the final corner. I think when he crosses the line, we're going to be on the last lap. Yes, it definitely will be. Just coming through the final corner now, so Dippolito will be on the final lap. Flashing lights there from him.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
All Keddy has to do is hold on for one more lap here as they both cross the start-finish line here. And Keddy seems to have a comfortable enough gap at the moment. He just needs to keep composed here and not make any mistakes. And I hope I haven't cursed him here with the commentator's curse. We've seen it happen a few times today. Now where is Dippolito coming through the corkscrew? Doesn't really need to get past the back markers ahead of him. He's going to take it safe and let them continue their battle, because they'll have to do another lap here. But Dippolito coming up to the final corner with a dominant performance here. Didn't really have any trouble even in the race restarts. He just kept the same mindset, kept the same performance, and there we go, across the line, P1. Sebastian coming through the final corner, great race from him, starting in P4. And he's put the car up into P2, a podium spot, the second podium spot. There we go, across the line. Keddy now, where is he? Manages to hold on, started in P5, so 2 positions gained, finishing in P3, and the Honda in P4. What a great finish from him. Shearer now finishing in P5, managed to hold off Toth as well. So Toth in P6, Vinning finishing in P7, Nicholas Keel in P8, then Sullivan in P9, Godby coming through the final corner in P10. There we go, and Ian Thompson, who's still battling with Suresh. This is going to be a battle coming up towards the last few corners. Could this be a photo finish? Let's see if Suresh can get the better exit. Oh, has a look up the inside, very late on the brakes, makes contact. It's good. It was a good try, but wasn't able to get the move done. So Thompson there finishing ahead of Suresh, and there we go. Those are your race results. So congrats to Dippolito, Sebastian, and Keddy for finishing on the podium. And that's it for tonight. Make sure to tune in for next week for the final round here. But until then, good night and have a great week.